Now for the show that's truly too hot to handle. It's The Melting Pat, and it starts right now.
You're listening to The Melting Pat. Here's your host, Pat Johnson.
Well, thank you, Jerome. Hello, my friends, and welcome to the show, The Melting Pat, the Next Level Network. How are you? I am exhausted, as usual. It's also like 10 a.m. All my stuff is done, and my list is done. And the system is frozen for me. So we have time to do the show. I know I sound tired, but I don't have any other slot to do the show. I'm sorry. I know. How are you? You okay? You doing all right today? Things are going on in the news. The patrons got a written bonus the other day. They'll get an audio bonus either today or probably tomorrow. I'm going to record it as soon as I'm done with the show today. Two things on the bonus, so check out that. Subscribe at the $3 level to hear me talk about the absurdity of school lunch debt. And a podcast episode I listened to where the guest got into it with the host. One of the hosts, anyway. So we'll talk about that. That's on the $3 level, patreon.com/themeltingpat. There we go. Today, on the free show for all of you, we will talk about a hotel getaway that my smoking hot wife and I went on the other day. And we'll also talk about, this is something that's come up over the years, about me posting short form video or audio stuff in addition to or as opposed to long form with the show. And I know other people kind of go back and forth. You know, they start with short form and they go to long form. So I want to talk about that for a little bit. We'll also talk a little baseball. Major League Baseball, their TV deal with ESPN will be ending after this year, a mutual decision, apparently. So we will talk about that. And there is allegedly a new Tony Hawk remaster coming soon. So we will talk about that as well. And we should hear from the captain about the Fly Guys. They are back. I think they won the other day. That's helpful. So we should hear from him this week at the end of the show. So that is the menu for today. Hope you're doing well. Hope everything is going great in your universe, whenever and wherever you are. I thank you for making me a part of your world today. All right. Is that too deep to start the show? I don't know. Anyway, hope you're well. Those are all the things that we have for you on the menu today. And we will begin, as we like to do most weeks, with a song. And this is thanks to our friend Jason Didner for introducing me to this compilation, because we've played a handful of songs from this now. So this is from the Rock Against Hate compilation, volume, is it 5 or 6? You know what? We're going to look it up. Hold on one second. I should have paused so I didn't have to take out all this silence. But anyway, it is on volume 6. Rock Against Hate, volume 6. And you can find that on Bandcamp. I will have the link to all of the compilations in the show notes and at themeltingpat.com. But our song today comes to us from a band called The Winter Sounds. That's the WinterSounds. The Winter Sounds. That's the band. The song is called Kid Icarus. And now I have an idea for what the picture's going to be. How about that? Rock Against Hate, volume 6. Kid Icarus from The Winter Sounds. It's The Melting Pat. We're coming right back.
I'm a fine point, a single dot, a dance in the dark. No one saw, not even whispers of it. Don't look down, I'm climbing higher up. Something hits me, it's automatic. Revelry, total shock. Nothing hits you like particles. Time to let go, to put your wings out, roar in the eye of a storm. But I'm looking back, I'm a fine point, a single dot, There's nothing here but palm trees and sunshine. Nothing to do but burn out the night. When you let go of all of Don't look down, I'm climbing higher up. Something hits me, it's automatic. Revelry, total shock. Nothing hits you like particles of light. In the air, nothing hits you like particles of light. In the air, nothing there.
There you have it. The Winter Sounds, Kid Icarus. Little different for me, right? The Melting Pat, the Next Level Network. That was you know what? I thought about trying that again. Cuz I know it wasn't right. I know I had the start, the bass, like the cadence was right. Right, the level was right. The bass, but I don't think the melody was right. But it was fun, and I'm not going to go high like the synth or whatever that was. I'm not going to go that high. I can't, especially not right this second. But there you go. The important thing is that I had fun, and the band will probably go, that was funny. And then that'll be that, and then we'll never speak again, probably. Sometimes that's how it works. That's just how it goes. Through no fault of anyone's, by the way. It just happens. Like, I'll play a song, maybe I'll play another one if an album comes out, and then, we kind of get lost with each other, like from each other, right? Like, I'll miss something, I'll miss a release, and I'll be moving on to other friends of the show, and it just happens. It's not I don't take it personally, certainly. I hope they don't. But anyway, The Winter Sounds from Rock Against Hate Volume 6, Kid Icarus. And if you purchase that EP, by the way, that compilation, by the way, it benefits kids in need, kids in need of defense, I think it's called. And I think Volume 5 benefits Planned Parenthood. So there you go. Links to all that will be in the show notes again and at themeltingpat.com. So there we go. We did all the stuff. Congratulations to us. Way to go. Way to go, us. We did it. Yeah, I don't know what happened with the mouth riff. That was really, a little off, I had the bass part right, but the melody might have been, I just hit the desk. Christ. How did that happen? I didn't know. Like, I just flopped my hand down, and I don't know, man. I don't. We need another Getaway. I think that's what it is. And speaking of, the other day, so, okay, we got to go back a couple days. I worked overtime last Saturday. And when I work overtime, so I work from here. Luckily, I don't have to go to the office to do the overtime, because if I did, I wouldn't do it. But it's helpful because, extra money is always good, right? So we ask our friend Maggie to come over and hang out with Jill and the kiddo, because she likes hanging out with the kiddo and with Jill. And I don't want Jill to have a day like with him by herself, because she did that for years. And it's not fair to her that I get to be down here working and she has to do all that. So we asked Maggie, hey, you want to come over, hang out with your two best friends while I work? And she's like, yes, of course. And so that plan was already in place. And so the other day because the kid hasn't been sleeping, and it's like every night he's up, and just it's really frustrating and exhausting. And so I just said to Jill, hey, Jill, we need a night away from him. Like, and I'm not saying, like, oh, get this kid out of here, but like, we need to get some sleep. We need to get a night where we don't have to worry. And I was like, I figured we were going to have to like plan this well in advance and sort some stuff out. But then Jill said, hey, do you want to ask Maggie to stay over? Because she's coming over Saturday anyway. And I said, sure. Text her, see what happens. And I'm thinking like, oh, sorry, I'm busy. I have to leave at a certain time, whatever. But to my surprise and delight, she's like, yeah, of course. I would like, hey, can you stay overnight with the boy? And she's like, I got to leave at this time Sunday, but absolutely, I'll stay over Saturday. And we're like, hell yeah, great. So she did that. I booked the room on my phone immediately. And what's cool is the room and the dinner that we got the last overtime pay that I got paid for it. And so it all worked out that I didn't have to actually spend, real money on this. But so thank you so much, Maggie, for letting us, helping us get away. That's not helping us get away. Sounds like we committed a crime, but for stepping up and saying, hey, I'll hang out with the kid overnight. And apparently they had a good time. So we also had a good time. We stopped and got some snacks, got some booze, and we went to dinner at the hotel bar, restaurant, whatever it's called. And it was really nice. Like, she had soup and salmon. I had a salad and steak. And we were like, hey, can we get cheesecake? And the waiter came out with 2 plates with 2 pieces of something on them. Tiramisu on one and chocolate cake on the other. And Jill doesn't like tiramisu. I don't care for it either. But he's like, yeah, somebody left the cheesecake open, and it was pretty hard, and it looked pretty bad. So you can choose these. So up top to that guy, we got the chocolate cake, by the way, and it was goddamn delicious. And the steak was, I should have asked for medium rare. I should know this by now, to ask for medium rare. A little more pink would have been great, but it was still delicious. And Jill said her soup and salmon were also great. So we got a meal where we didn't have to worry about getting up to take someone to the bathroom or refill a drink or make sure nothing spilled or something like that. So we got a meal like to ourselves. And then we went up and we watched the SNL 50th anniversary episode. And we've been talking about that for I don't know, I guess a week and a half, 2 weeks maybe. And I don't know why I'm so like tongue-tied today. But yeah, we talked about wanting to watch it. We didn't watch any clips. We didn't know what was going on because we knew we were going to watch it. And it was great. I do wish, though, and this is probably on me for not realizing that the hotel didn't have a smart TV before we got there. I mean, I guess that's also on me for assuming they would in 2025, that a hotel would have a smart TV. Because, like, even if they didn't have Peacock, I'm sure I could have figured out a way to cast my phone to the TV and watch it on TV. But I couldn't figure that out. And, there was no option. And so we watched on my phone. And it was great. We had a great time watching it. We love SNL, so we watch as often as we can, which at this point, sadly, is not that often. But at least we can watch clips, so that's helpful. But we do love SNL. And the 50th anniversary was great. We had a great time. And then, And then we got some sleep. And it was great. We watched, like, the hotel had MeTV, and the 60s Batman TV show was on, which is fantastic. And so we watched that. We watched some Star Trek. We just, like, things we don't always get to do. And it's weird that, like, just watching a TV show is now on the list of things that we have to, like, go away to do or, like, have to wait until the kid falls asleep to do. Because when he was, like, 1 and just starting to talk and, like, form words and sentences, sort of, I talked about this already, but we watched Beavis and Butthead, one of the newer ones, and they were watching, like, Antiques Roadshow or something on YouTube, like, check out all this stuff, this old stuff I'm going to sell. And Beavis, and the kid's standing right in front of the TV watching. He's got his little baby prison at the time. And he's standing there watching. And Beavis goes, oh, look, it's an old piece of crap. And immediately the kid goes, piece of crap? And I'm like, Jesus Christ. All right, so now that eliminates the stuff that we can watch and or listen to with him in the room. Because now that he's like, and now he's older and speaking more clearly and he's repeating things. And so we just don't want to have to explain to people, hey, sorry, we watched Beavis and Butthead. Like, because he's not old enough for us to say, okay, you can say this here, but not anywhere else. Like, he's not old enough to get that part of it yet. Because that's the plan, by the way. He's going to have words he can say at home and stuff that he can't say, like, only at home. And stuff he can't say out in public, because then, whatever. So yeah, we have to kind of wait for him to go to sleep to watch stuff. Like, we've been watching some new, well, quote unquote new, it's like 3 years old now, the newer Beavis and Butthead episodes on Paramount Plus, and they're fantastic, but we've not been able to watch them. So, so it was great. We had a really, like, again, I don't mean to say, like, oh, we finally got away from the kid, but he's 3, and we've only been away from him one time, and that was last year at WrestleMania, and that really wasn't like, we can relax and watch TV, because we were going to WrestleMania, 2 nights until midnight, and then that was that. So going to WrestleMania was amazing, by the way, and I do not regret it. and it was one of the coolest things I've ever experienced, which I've talked about. But yeah, we haven't really had a chance to just like rest and relax and drink, which is weird. Like, it's weird because we can do that anytime, but for whatever reason, we just don't do it. It's not a, not a moral thing or whatever, but just not something that's ever really on the list. So we got our snacks. We had a nice dinner. We got dessert, and we just got to hang out just by ourselves and watched SNL. And it was amazing. So thank you, Maggie, for helping us out, giving us a night away, because it was something that we, both of us, really needed. And it was just so cool. So, and the missus's birthday is coming up. My mom's birthday is the same day, by the way. I don't think my mom wants to go bowling, though. But yeah, we're going bowling not next week, but the week after. So what she's going to do on her birthday is drive around and get all, because every company, food place, whatever, will say, hey, it's your birthday, come get a free thing. And she's like, you know what I want to do if you'll stay with the kid? And I said, of course I will. Look, I'm going to the Phillies game on my birthday, okay? So I'm okay hanging out at the house while she goes and gets her free sweet treats, right? So she's like, I'm going to go drive around, go to all these places that I signed up for, and they say, hey, it's your birthday, come get a free little cake or a free whatever, free burrito, whatever it is. So she's going to do that. And then the week after, we're going to go out to lunch and we're going to go bowling. So very excited for the next couple weekends. Then I get to just hang out with the kid on whatever day that is. So yes, I know when my wife's birthday is. I'm being vague on purpose. I don't know if she wants you to know when her birthday is, or my mom for that matter. So there you go. So that is, I guess that's our plans. Those are our plans for the next couple weeks. I don't have any big things for next weekend other than that, right? I don't believe so. Am I working overtime? I don't think so. Hold on. I just got an email. Let me see. Maybe they put in for it. Let me see. Nope. None of that is for overtime. That is people replying all when they don't need to. There is one person, by the way, at my job. I love her. She's great. But she replies all to like every email. And I'm just like, please, can you not do that? You don't have to. I don't need to know that you got the email, because I also got the email. Wait, actually, I didn't. Hold on. Oh, it was from yesterday. Okay. So the initial email oh, no, wait. No, I didn't get it. Hold on. Oh, man, that's hilarious. So I actually, every so often, they will send out an updated staff sheet. Like, here are all the people who work here, if you got it in their phone numbers. So in case we got to reach somebody about a thing they did or didn't do, we can do that. And I got 2 emails of people replying all saying, received, thank you. But I did not actually get the staff sheet. That's hilarious. Okay, we're back. Track 2. I hit the wrong button. So let me just let you know. I'll peek behind the curtain. So when I record, when I play the song or when I have to look something up, I will hit P to pause the recording so it stays on one track. You can also hit the space bar to stop it and start a new track. And for some reason, I accidentally hit the space bar and we start a new track. But that's okay, because also what will happen is my computer will start to slow down and I'll have to start a new track anyway. And so I didn't want to have that happen. So that actually got me, I got into that habit of stopping every 15 minutes or so back when I was recording the show in Soundtrap, where I like to make my musical tunes, which is fun, which I want to get back to. So they recommended, hey, so you don't lose your work, stop every 15 minutes and start a new track. And so I just took that. I'm like, oh, that's a good idea in general when I can. Like, if I have somebody on, I can't do that. But yeah, when I can do that, I will stop every 12 to 15 minutes and just have one track. So there you go. We got about 17. Well, no, there was a lot of silence in there. So who knows how long the actual spoken word track is. But anyway, Pat, it's been a minute. You've been talking about nothing. You're right. You are right. Let's talk about the next thing today. That looks like a great clap. I'm excited to hear that later. So I want to talk about going from, like, I hate the term content creator, but it fits here, so I'm going to use it. So when a content creator goes from short form to long form, so you go from little reels or little videos on Facebook, shorts, or videos on YouTube or Facebook or Instagram, if you try to make the switch to like a podcast, because there's an account that I follow. It's a husband and wife. They're just making jokes. And I saw a couple of reels on Facebook, and I thought they were funny, so I followed them. Like, oh, this is going to be fun. And it has been. I'm not going to tell you who they are, just because I'm kind of going to be skeptical of their new venture. So I don't want to shame them, because that's not fair. because it could go really well for them, and I hope it does. They do little videos. They like make jokes to each other, and it's fun. And so I followed, and I'm like, okay, cool. So now I see that they're starting a podcast, and well, I hope it does well. But that's not why I bring this up. So the account, as far as what I have seen from this account, it's based on like one-liners, like quick little jokes. So I just wonder how this shtick, I don't know why that was drawn out so far. I just wonder how that translates, or how that will translate to a podcast, to a long form, because it seems to be to me that the podcast is going to be similar, like a similar vibe to what they're doing with the reels. So I'm just curious how, and again, I hope it does. I hope they do really well. I'm just curious how this will translate, or how they will adjust to make it like a full thing. Like, are they going to stop doing the reels and just focus on the podcast? Maybe they have sponsors. I don't know. Or are they going to keep doing both? Because that's interesting to kind of have the same thing, like in two different formats. That's interesting if they do that. Because I don't know, like for me, if I just feel like for me, we haven't done that in a long time. I feel like it would be too much. Like if I got used to doing 45 to 60 second video clips, like little jokes or whatever would do, I would like every couple days, like say I do like 3 a week. So that's what, 3 minutes a week of content, right? 3 minutes of videos a week. So then I would go, okay, why don't I, if somebody said, hey, why don't you try to make this like a podcast or whatever? And I'd be like, oh, that could be fun. But also, now I got to go from 3 minutes a week to an hour. Like, I got to somehow fill an hour. Now, I started doing long-form stuff. Like, I started with radio. And at the time, like, making short-form stuff wasn't a thing. And now it is. And it has been for several years. What did David Michael Frank say when he was on the show? Vertical short-form content is the way to grow your brand. Right? Because people are, where are they mostly watching this stuff? On their phones. So the pivot to short form videos is a good idea for a business or a brand or whoever. I don't know. I guess I feel like it would be, for me, let's talk about just for me. If I started doing 45 to 60 second to Jesus, like minute long videos, a couple times a week. And then I decided, or someone said, hey, you should try this. And now I got to do an hour of whatever it is I'm doing, right? I now have to stretch whatever the joke was, whatever the topic was. Instead of 3 minutes a week, I got to do 60, right? Or however long. I imagine if you have sponsors that they want a certain length of an episode so you have places to put their ads, right? So if I said, hey, I'm going to start doing, like if I went the other way, and started short form and decided to go long form, I feel like the anxiety there would be way too much. And so kudos to this couple for going for it. Good for them. I will, you know what, I'll try to listen to the first episode and see what's what, because I am curious. But also, I can't bring myself to go back the other way. People have asked a lot, hey, why don't you make short little audio clips and put them on Instagram and share them on socials to grow the show? And the first answer is, growing the show is not a priority. The second answer is, I don't have time for that. I really don't, because I record the show when I have time at work, and then I edit when I have time at work later in the week, right? So I'll do the show Tuesday or Wednesday. I'll record Thursday, Friday, put it up to have it ready by Saturday. So I don't have time to sit there and kind of pull out clips and make little audiograms or whatever. So I don't have time to do it. And also, the pressure to be, I just got the staff sheet, by the way, 10 minutes after everyone else did. The pressure to be entertaining like right away stops me too. Because like you have 45 seconds. Really what you have is like 3 seconds to be funny or engaging or entertaining or whatever. Because if you don't catch, maybe 3 seconds is not the right amount of time. But if you don't catch somebody right away, what are they doing? They're scrolling right on by. And that's not something I wanted to have to worry about. Because here on the show, I have time to get my thoughts out if I'm making jokes or whatever I'm doing. There's time for me to flesh that out and figure out how to convey whatever point I'm making. But in a reel or a short, I don't have that. I don't have 20 minutes to entertain you. or an hour or 40 minutes, however long the show is. I don't have that time for you to sit there and wait, right? But with this, like, hey, you know what's coming on the show because I write it all down, and you know how much time you have to invest in listening to me in your brain, right? But it just, like, having that is helpful to me, whereas if I was doing short form stuff, I would be constantly worried that nobody's going to watch this, nobody's going to listen, nobody's going to care, and I just wouldn't have, like, the pressure of that would just be too much. And so kudos to anybody who does that, because there's no way I could do it. And it just seems, I don't know, man. I also feel like if I went the other way, like if someone said, hey, you should pivot to short form stuff to help with the show, I feel like that would throw people off, because it's like, no, this guy's show is, he takes forever to get there. And then once he does, it's like, oh, cool. And then he goes, bop, 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 and that's fun, right? But I can't do that in like a 45-second reel. So it'll throw people off. That's the excuse I'll use. And also, I literally just don't have time. But how do you feel about that? If you follow a business or a person or whoever, like say a comedian, and they just do little quick videos like, hey guys, we're going to be doing this today. Bah! And then they do their little reel, and then you're like, oh, that's funny. Follow, like, whatever. Would you be all right if they, like, would you follow their page still? Like, would you follow their journey to doing a podcast, doing a long form type of thing, when their whole identity to you has been short form, little quick reels? Would you want to go, yeah, I'll see what that is? Or would you go, I don't know how their shtick would translate, so I don't know about that. What do you think? Or if somebody went the other way, like I was doing a podcast and I said, you know what, we're going to do video stuff instead, little video jokes or whatever. How would you feel about that? Let me know. When they go from one to the other, does it affect your willingness to keep following along? Let me know. All right, there you go. So I hope it goes well. I hope their podcast goes really well. I'm going to listen to the first episode. It comes out March 5th. So I'll tell you about it. Again, I didn't want to name them because I'm kind of skeptical of how their kind of thing of one-liners is going to translate to a whole podcast, but I will listen and let you know. How's that? Maybe not by next week, because when does it come out? The 5th? That's Wednesday. All right, it depends when I can record the show, if I can listen to their podcast. We'll see. But I'm curious to hear how they will make the transition. Because I don't think if I was going to do one or the other, like if I had started with short form stuff and gained a following, I don't know that I would think to stretch it out. Because like I started with long form stuff. So that's never been a problem. Well, it used to be a problem. It used to be really hard. But it's not a problem for me now. Because this is episode, 520 of the podcast? And I did 200 live shows and 150 shows in college to kind of get my feet wet and figure out the kind of stuff I wanted, like the kind of on-air person I wanted to be. And it took me a long time to get here, but I figured out kind of how the show should run. And so condensing that, or whatever it would be if I was going to do short form stuff, would just not, I don't know. Here's the thing. It would likely take way more time to figure it out than I have. How's that? There you go. That's my story. I'm sticking to it. There we are. Break. That was not a good. That was even worse. That was a golf clap on purpose. Okay. So I heard rumors about this for a while. We're going to talk video game stuff, by the way, specifically Tony Hawk's Pro Skater. So Tony Hawk's Pro Skater, the remaster of the first two games, Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 1 and 2. It came out in September 2020. The world was in flux. COVID was very early. Nobody really knew what was going on. At least I didn't. Couldn't really go anywhere. Didn't really know what was going to happen, how things were going to play out. And my wife was also newly pregnant. And so I was excited about that, anxious about the world at large. And then all of a sudden, here comes Tony Hawk's 1 and 2, Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 1 and 2, right into my lap, just at a great time for me. And it was amazing. It really helped. Being able to play this game, like go through these levels again in a completely new environment, but still felt the same. You know what I mean? It felt good to go back and go, oh, I remember this warehouse school and the mall and, going to Venice and New York City and all that. And I still remembered all the stuff. And now, new challenges and new, things you couldn't do in the first 2 games. Now you can do them here, and it looks great. It runs very smoothly. I'm like, this is fantastic and kind of exactly what I needed at the time. And I still play the game every week. Every couple days, I will jump on, try to do a multiplayer. If it works, great. If it doesn't, then I just kind of skate through and just have fun that way. It's so good. I absolutely love it. And it really helped. Really helped. So for me, bring on a new game on the same engine, because I never really played Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 3. I played 4. I didn't beat the game. I didn't go all the way through it, but I did enjoy what I played. And so I'm excited about this, especially if they use a similar engine to 1 and 2. Because if we get a game in that vein, in that kind of model, I'll play it, I'll buy it, even if I never played it, which again, I will buy this, even though I never played half of it. I will do it. And so I'm excited because there is, on TonyHawkTheGame.com, there is a countdown clock, and they list that there is an announcement coming on March 4th, which is Tuesday? And so I'm very excited. And apparently there is, I guess Singapore has released ratings for the game or something like that. So I think all but confirmed is a Tony Hawk remake of 3 and 4. So even though I don't have the emotional attachment to 3 and 4, because I never played 3 and only kind of played 4, I'm still excited because the way that 1 and 2 made me feel, it came at a great time, not a great time for the world, but it came at the right time. And it really it scratched an itch that I didn't really know I had. And it was just so, it was so, I don't know, man. It was just so, it was good for my soul. How's that? Is that too weird for a video game to do that to you? I don't know, but it did. It just felt right, coming back home, sort of. And if we get a game like that in this, the same engine or very close to that engine, because that ran so smoothly for the most part. No game is perfect. We know that. But this engine ran so smoothly. I absolutely love it. I still play it. 5 years later, I still play this game. It's fantastic. Almost 5 years. And so if 3 and 4, if that's what's coming out, a remaster of 3 and 4, and it's the same engine or a very similar engine, I'm all in. Day one buy, special edition. Let's do this. I'm very excited. If it's something else, I'm still going to be excited. I'm not going to be as disappointed. Again, I don't have the attachment to the games like I did with the first 2. But if it's what we're thinking, what we're hoping, that it's 3 and 4, then I'm really excited. And come on March 4th. I might do a little post on the old YouTube on March 4th talking about this. Because I want to get that out like an immediate reaction. Not a video. I'm not a psycho. I don't like being on camera. You know this. But I think I'll do this. I think I will do a little reaction on YouTube. So follow that at The Melting Pat. There we go. How's that sound? Good? No? All right. Anyway, Tony Hawk 3 and 4 remaster. Rumored there is an announcement coming March 4th. So we will find out. I mean, hey, 3-4 is the date, right? Tony Hawk 3 and 4, huh? Although I will say, the rest of the world doesn't do their dates by month and day, right? So other people, it's 4-3. So who knows? Maybe I don't know. Did they do everything backwards other places? Maybe we do it backwards. Maybe that's it. Well, we're certainly, no. Pat, you said no news. You're right. But video game news, potentially Tony Hawk 3 and 4 remaster is on the way. So I'll keep you posted as best I can. I'll talk about it next week, whatever the announcement was for sure. But I'll try to do a little YouTube thing as well. We'll see what we can do. Okay? All right. Tony Hawk, baby. Woo! Love Tony Hawk games. So good. Because I've played Tony Hawk's Pro Skater, Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 2, some of 4. I played 5, which was awful. Tony Hawk's Underground, which is just started, which I just played this year. Fantastic. Tony Hawk's Pro Skater HD, which was 1 and 2, and some of 3, I guess, some levels from 3. That was on PS3 and Xbox 360, and that was not great. Just didn't run very well. Same with 5, didn't run very well. Kind of broken, clunky, awkward, and that sucked. And then the remaster 1 and 2, which is absolutely amazing. And on PS2 also, I played Project 8. I bought Project 8 from GameStop on PS2 years ago, like 2013, for about $6. And that game sucks. And I feel like I paid too much. That game's awful. It's clunky. It doesn't run well. It doesn't it's just awkward. It's not a good, it doesn't feel like a Tony Hawk game. It looks like one, sort of, but it doesn't have the feel of, it doesn't run as smoothly as older games do, which is weird because you upgraded the tech. You should be able to run better. Then I read that Tony Hawk's Project 8 was actually made for the next generation, so PS3 and Xbox 360, and then ported backwards to PS2. So they have all the stuff, and then they have to remove it and scale it down for the previous generation, which is fine. But also, I played the PS3 version, and it sucks too. So that game, I don't think it's very good. But anyway, that's why I was very excited about the remaster, because the last two that I played before that were Project 8 and HD. And both of those were super disappointing. And so maybe we get 3 and 4 soon. We'll let you know on or around March 4th. All right. Whoa. Why did we hit the mic? Break. We'll cut out that sound of hitting the mic, or maybe we'll leave it in. I don't know. Jeez. All right. My computer's slowing down. I got to stop. We'll start a new track. We'll talk some baseball. Okay, we're back. We're going to have to split this up because, I don't know what's going on with Audacity. It's slowing down, and I don't want to lose stuff. So anyway, if you don't like baseball or the Flyers, then this is the end of the road for you. Thanks for coming. Check out the Winter Sounds. Check out the Rock Against Hate compilations, and go get Kid Icarus. Sound good? Great. All right. So for the rest of us, let's talk some baseball. So it came out last week that, right after I recorded, of course, that Major League Baseball and ESPN have, quote, mutually agreed to end their national TV deal after this season. So this will be the last year of MLB games on ESPN. And the contract was supposed to run through 2028, I think. But I guess they had a talk. They're like, hey, we're not getting what we thought we would. We're not getting the value. Someone's not getting the value. We're not getting enough coverage. Actually, the commissioner, Rob Manfred, specifically said, we don't like the lack of coverage for the sport on your networks. And he's not wrong. I'm also not shocked by this. I am worried, though, about the future of the Baseball Tonight podcast, which I listen to all the time. I'm worried that this will impact that negatively. I hope it doesn't go away, because it's really an interesting. If you like baseball, I highly recommend the ESPN Baseball Tonight podcast hosted by Buster Olney. I highly recommend it. It's so good. And I hope that this deal ending doesn't also end that. I don't want this to be the last year of the Baseball Tonight podcast, because I really enjoy that show. Yeah, so I'm not shocked by this, because the commissioner said, hey, you're not covering us as often as we'd like, considering the money involved and all that, right? Because a couple years ago, because Baseball Tonight was a TV show for years, where they would go through every night, 10 o'clock, they would go through the day's games, and here are the highlights. Here's what happened. Here are the things that happened in baseball today. And it was fantastic. It was my favorite thing, because it was just baseball highlights. Oh, what about this guy? What about that guy? There was some, sports talk stuff. But in the beginning, it was mostly just highlights and check out this play, guys. And it was great. It was fantastic. So that ended. And I'm like, well, that's not good. That doesn't bode well for the future of of baseball on the network, really, because they did this to hockey too, where hockey just disappeared from ESPN. And then it was gone, and now it's back. Anyway, it just since then, I feel like the presentation of Sunday Night Baseball has gone downhill. And I'm not just talking about the announcers not being that good or not being that interesting to listen to. I love Carl Ravitch, but everybody else is just kind of eh. And the presentation just feels off, right? It doesn't help that the gambling, we've talked about gambling in sports and how I hate that it's permeated every level of the sport, of every sport at this point. And the betting lines and win probability and all this other stuff. That's not, I don't care about any of that. I want you to show me the game and show me some cool graphics and stats and all that. That's cool. But I don't know. The presentation really, it's gone downhill since then. They don't really do the Wednesday games in the afternoons anymore. They used to do Monday afternoon games. So it would be Sunday night, Monday, and Wednesday. And they haven't really done Monday or Wednesday as of late that I can recall. And so that's not a good sign. And so that we were I feel like we were always heading for a split here. I just didn't think it was going to happen so soon. I thought they would play out the contract, and then Major League Baseball would go to Apple or Amazon or whoever and say, hey, we're not on ESPN anymore. Let's make a deal. And they would figure that out. Yeah, I don't know, man. Again, I'm not shocked. It's not surprising that, look, WWE just ended their deal with USA to go to Netflix. Like, their weekly show, main flagship show, is on Netflix, which is crazy. So it's not a shock that this is happening. But I'm worried that, A, the Baseball Tonight podcast will end, and B, that they will go to a service that I don't have. And I know that's selfish. I'm aware. But I also don't want to lose access to baseball stuff. I don't want to have to go searching, go digging through my apps and download another app on my phone to watch baseball. I want to be able to turn on my TV or go to my YouTube TV or whatever on my phone and watch baseball. That's all I want. It's all I want. It's all I've ever wanted with sports stuff. Let me put it on a thing that I have and let me watch. And I'm worried they're going to pivot to Apple TV. And I'm not only not subscribed to Apple TV or Apple TV Plus, whatever it is, but the announcers, I watched a couple of games on there because they did a free preview so you could watch baseball and try to convince you to sign up for the rest. But I didn't like that. The presentation looked good. The telecast looked good, but the announcers were so boring. And the rest of the presentation was all right, this seems Bush League, not Bush League, but this seems of lower quality than I'm used to. How's that? It looked good. I liked the look of it, but I don't know, man. I'm not shocked that the TV deal's ending. I figured this was going to come anyway, but it makes me worry again for the Baseball Tonight podcast, the future of that show, and where are they going to end up? Is it going to be on a service I already have? Or am I going to have to, I don't know. I guess how often do I watch will I be able to watch the national games? Right, but also I want the highlight shows. I want to watch a Baseball Tonight style show, and I don't have MLB Network right now. It's not on YouTube TV, so I can't really watch that at the moment, or at least I don't think so. Because they have a show called Quick Pitch, where it's just an hour of highlights of every game of the day. And it's fantastic. That's what I want. I don't care about talking heads screaming at each other, talking about this guy, that guy. I don't care that much about that. I want to see the show, the highlights. And I'm worried that, Baseball Tonight was already gone, but wherever the national deal ends up being, I don't know. I hope they revive Baseball Tonight. They'd have to call it something else probably, but I hope they bring it back in some form or fashion. Wherever the deal will be next year, I hope they bring it back in some way. Because that's what I miss. I don't care for all these talking heads yelling at each other. I want the highlights, and that's that. There you go. So there it is. ESPN will no longer carry Major League Baseball. They've been pivoting away for years, honestly. But after this season, they will no longer carry Major League Baseball. So who knows where Major League Baseball will end up? I hope it's on a service that I already have, so I don't have to sign up for a new thing. There we go. Also, I wonder then, how much longer can we play this theme song? That's the Baseball Tonight theme song for you scoring at home. And when the deal ends, does that become royalty free? Can I use that every week? Probably not. But I don't think I'll get in trouble for playing 12 seconds. Because again, if you're going to get in trouble for your podcast, people have to know who you are, and no one knows who I am. That's why I can get away with stuff. Well, that's why I feel comfortable doing stuff like that, like the TV themes and the movie themes, because people have to know who you are, and it's fine. No one cares. They're losing the deal anyway. They don't. Who cares? They're not going to come after you should take this down. Bah. Why? You're taking it down. You're taking down baseball from your network, ESPN. There you go. Oh, it was a mutual decision. Bro, this is my my impression of me arguing with a suit from ESPN for playing that. There you go. I think I'll be fine. It'll be great. That's for the patrons who won't hear the actual theme song. That was pretty close. Now, I can't go as high as that. That was actually pretty close. You know what? Give me where's the thank you? There's the studio audience to applaud my rendition of the Baseball Tonight theme song. There you go. All right. That's it. That's all my stuff. We'll hear from the captain, I hope. We'll see what's up. I haven't heard from him yet. Well, it's only Wednesday for me, and he usually sends the updates on Thursdays. So we will turn it over and hope that he is there. Good sir, tell us what is going on with the Fly Guys. The floor is yours. Take it away.
Hey, Flyers fans. Mark back at you again with another Flyers update. Yeah, woo! Guys, I am glad to be back. We had about 2 weeks off there. Four nations face off. Canadians take home the win in the tournament. But I am back now to talk about Flyers hockey and to celebrate a little bit. So some of our guys, Travis Konechny didn't really play in the tournament. Travis Sanheim, both of those guys representing the Flyers in Team Canada. And then Sam Ersson getting his only win and start of the tournament, but ended up beating the U.S. So that was a good showing for our guys in the orange and black representing their country. So let's take a look at what the Flyers have done and what they're going to do moving forward. So we're getting close to the end of the season here, but looking ahead and back, the Flyers took on Edmonton right after the tournament on Saturday, ended up winning that game 6-3 at home. The Flyers really showed out against a very, very good Edmonton Oilers team. Really solid play from them. Then on Tuesday, they ended up spanking the Penguins 6-1. Just glorious. Gotta love beating the interstate rivals. Now, on Thursday, the Flyers are going to Pittsburgh. They're going to take on the Penguins. Then Saturday, they're out in Winnipeg, going up to our northern neighbor. They're playing a very good Jets team. And then coming back home on Tuesday, playing the Calgary Flames. So, as I said, there's about 2 weeks. A lot of the guys got a lot of time to rest. Some of our guys were playing hard. Konechny was a little banged up, left off the roster. There was a little bit going on. But Travis Sanheim really seemed to get his flow. Like, he was playing really, really well. It was exciting to see. And then Sam Ersson, like I said, he got the win in his one start against Team USA, who was a very, very good, solid team during that entire tournament. So hopefully Sam Ersson seems like it, but hopefully he continues this confidence and we can push through to the end of the season. And let's see what the Flyers have left in the tank for us. So guys, that's it for me here inside the Melting Pat on Next Level Radio.
Thank you, my friend, the Melting Pat, the Next Level Network, just in case he was too busy to tell us about the Flyers and what they're doing or not doing. So there you go. That is our show. Thank you for being here today. This was, we did a lot today. We packed a lot in. We did some baseball. We did Tony Hawk. We did some waxing poetic about shifting your goals as far as putting out content, putting out a show, whatever you want to do. Hotel Getaway, that was great. We played a song from the Winter Sounds called that again. Blah, 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 blah. Again, the song is called Kid Icarus, the Winter Sounds. It is on the Rock Against Hate compilation volume 6, benefiting kids in need of defense. All the links to the things for that will be in the show notes and at themeltingpat.com. So there you go. We are good to get on out of here, right? All right, great. Themeltingpat.com for all things me, newsletter, Patreon, other stuff. The store's up, although I got to fix some stuff, so maybe don't buy anything yet. So there you go. All the stuff for me. Sign up for the Patreon, get some bonuses. Sign up for the newsletter, get extra me every month right in your inbox. And there you go. There you go. We won't do G-Love today, but check them out anyway, Philadelphonic.com for more from them. And yeah, we're good, right? We good? Great. This has been an 8 Boiling production. Until next time, my friends, have fun. Be safe. Thank a veteran. Wear your mask, wash your hands, get vaccinated, and boosted when you can. I'm trying to do this before I cough. We're not going to make it. There we go. And of course, don't do anything I wouldn't do. That's it, right? Thank you so much for being here. Have a lovely day. Don't be dumb. Okay? I love you. We'll talk soon. You've been inside the Melting Pat on the Next Level Network. Go crap open a cold one.